We ended up filing bankruptcy and didn't want to stop there. At first it was fun, but then it turns into desperation.
You are battling this person that you hate everything that this person is doing, and it's you.
It's called the hidden addiction. While men are considered action gamblers, it's estimated that 95% of women prefer solitary options like playing slots and video poker for one main purpose.
With women, we're looking at more of the wanting to escape and what are they trying to escape from? What is empty in their lives? What isn't being met?
Lifestyle changes, loss, and divorce are common reasons why women seek out gambling as a coping mechanism. The adrenaline high, however, can soon trigger the physical need to just keep gambling.
It can be as short as 6 months, and we rarely see that in other addictions or in the male population as much. The women we see just kind of going from beginning gambling or, problem gambling to compulsive gambling pretty quickly.
Today, more women have the financial resources to gamble, as well as easy access to a variety of gambling options, from pull tabs to the lottery to the casino. For some, however, social gambling is not an option.
When you're fully addicted, when it's on, what does it feel like when you walk into that casino?
Like you're home. I felt adrenaline on the way there, and I felt suicidal on the way home.
Gambling has been a part of Kathy's life for as long as she can remember. Her dad was a bookie, and she spent her allowance betting on football games. Because she has young children, she asked us to change her name and protect her identity.
It was just a game. Just like playing Sorry, only I pulled out the Tripoli and got all the kids in the neighborhood to bring all their money, and I wouldn't let them go home till I won it all.
But it wasn't until the casinos opened in the Twin Cities area that her gambling escalated from that of a pastime to a full-blown addiction.
You get up every morning and you have to brush your teeth. I got up every morning and I had to start preparing to go there. And there were many times I drove there and didn't want to go there, but I just went anyway because it was habitual. I didn't know what else to do.
On the outside, Kathy had the perfect life: 4 children, a loving husband, and a multi-million-dollar home in the suburbs. Because she owned her own business, she had the funds and autonomy to gamble whenever she wanted. But for this addictive personality, it all added up to a double life.
They would go to bed. I would leave. I would have to put the cat in the basement and put the dog outside. Eventually the dog came with me because he would wake everybody up to go to the bathroom. I would get home at about 5:15 in the morning, get on the couch, because my husband got up at 5:30 every morning. He wouldn't know. He'd make the coffee as I'm trying to fall asleep, and then I would get up. The kids would get to school. I'd put in a few hours of work so I could generate the funds to do what I had to do, and just do it all over again.
Does time just disappear?
I've had that happen where I'm driving down the freeway and it's like a blackout. Like, was I there? And I would have to look in my purse, check my money.
But surprisingly, it was never about the money.
I mean, it was nothing to lose $5,000 in a day. I mean, when the cards would no longer swipe, there comes a point where you hit the wall and you have to go. If I went with $50,000, I will leave with nothing. If I go with $5, I will leave with nothing. If I go there with the last $10 to my name and happen to walk up and win $1,000 and then turn that into $20,000, I will still leave with nothing, even though I probably have tons of bills to pay. I probably need gas in my car. I'm sure I haven't eaten. I probably need to see a doctor. None of that matters.
But Kathy couldn't stop until she hit what she thought was rock bottom. She got caught participating in a mail fraud scheme involving her business that landed her in prison for a year. Her world changed forever.
When I had to tell my kids I was going to prison, my youngest looked up with tears flooding out of his face, and he was flushed, and he just said, "My mom's going away, isn't she?" That moment I'll never forget.
Kathy walked out of that prison with nothing. No husband, no job, no car. Unable to cope with her disconnected life, she went back to her comfort place, the casino. Because that was a probation violation, she went back to jail for a 15-month sentence.
Was any moments you look back on, things your kids might have said or, that really get you in your heart or make you say, I can never go back there again?
The day before I left, me, the two young kids, and my husband sat down and we wrote on little pieces of paper one-liners. I thought we would make this ceremonial somehow with me leaving. What do you hope for the next year? What are we going to do? What are dreams, wishes, fears, whatever we could think of? And we each took a turn and then we put it in the mason jar. When I got home, that was the first thing we did, was get that jar out of the ground. And we all sat in a circle in the driveway and we read these cards.
This time, Kathy made a commitment to her recovery and was released from prison in January of 2012. Since then, she's been rebuilding her life one day at a time.
I understand how painful it is to sit there every day and want to be alive, but you can't be. And I remember how hopeless it feels in that moment. But I swear to God, it doesn't have to be like that.
Kathy now has a job, joint custody of her kids, and her own place to live. And while her struggle isn't over, she is in a much better place.
I want to continue to be a voice for people that still suffer from this. I believe that I was chosen to go through this because I was strong enough to handle it. I think in some ways it was a gift for me, and now a part of that is me giving it back.